Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I hope everyone is doing okay. It's like 3 in the morning back in the States, so I have no expectation of anybody being up to watch this video. And because of that, let's keep this video relatively quick and easy to digest. I haven't seen anything about this online, even though everything that I'm about to say here is absolutely true. And it was news when the people joined TYT. I don't understand why it wouldn't be news when the people are leaving TYT, especially since the people have relatively big names and high profiles. Relatively. One of my subscribers and people who are affiliated with, or you can say, yeah, one of my subscribers hit me up and kind of put me onto this. Initially, this went within the context of a campaign ad that TYT was running. Yes, TYT was running campaign ads for Beto. This one. I actually like this one, so let's play it real quick. And then I'm going to segue to the other part.
This is Ted Cruz. That's him phone banking for Donald Trump after Trump called his wife ugly. Look at him. What kind of a man does that? Oh yeah, Trump also said his father was probably a murderer. He made calls on behalf of Trump after being unmanned by him. You're looking at the saddest man in America, Ted Cruz 2018. Pathetic.
I actually like that to some degree. I don't necessarily know how that's going to play in Texas. Unman him is just hilarious. And to some degree, everything in that campaign ad is right. It's a little weird that a news network supposedly is running campaign ads for Beto. Now, the thing is, and this will probably be a story of itself, Beto raised $30 million. And there were some Democrats that started to try to get a piece of that $30 million by making super PACs and attaching Beto's name to it and siphoning the money. I have no idea where the money that TYT is raising for this is going. Like I said, this is going to be a video in and of itself. That said, I like the campaign. I like the ad. Because I dislike Ted Cruz, so I am predisposed to liking that ad. Second part, and the part in the title and the main part of this video. There were some big name hires on TYT that no longer work with the company. Now, if you remember, TYT shredded several shows and shredded several of their big names, the Mickey Kantz and Hannah Cranston being two of probably the biggest names. Me probably being the biggest. TYT hired this woman. The Young Turks hires Deanna Brown as president. Exclusive. Deanna Brown, a 30-year-old media and digital content veteran, has joined TYT as the company's first president. Brown, along with TYT's network founder, Cenk Uygur, will lead strategic direction for all business initiatives and will work with Uygur to set the direction of TYT Network's strategic growth. Uygur will continue to oversee the company's vision and lead all content and coverage-related initiatives. Brown will work with the company's Culver City, California headquarters. Great. They hire a president. Thing is, and when did they hire this woman? They hired this woman, if I'm not mistaken, at the first of the year. Yeah, January 11th. Gone already. Deanna Brown, managing director at Valence Media. Previous, TYT Network. Now, even though this was a big splashy headline in Variety, I could not find any stories about this woman leaving. So here's the story about her leaving. Now, I don't know why she left. I don't know if she was fired. I don't know if she can come to any conclusion, like bumping heads with Hugo on the direction of the company. Who knows? She's there, less than a year, gone. Another big hire. Rotten Tomatoes editor-in-chief Matt Atchity, Jesus Christ, joins the Young Turks as head of programming. The Young Turks, the online politics and entertainment news network, has hired Rotten Tomatoes editor-in-chief Matt Etchity as head of programming. Matt, who starts at TYT LA headquarters on Monday, reports to the founder, CEO, Cenk Uygur. In a newly created role, Etchity will oversee growth and audience development for TYT Network's portfolio of shows and 12 owned and operated channels. Etchity will work with Uygur, show's hosts and producers of each channel to create editorial and content strategies to drive audience and business growth. Additionally, he will be tasked with developing content partners for TYT Network channels. This story takes place in July of 2017, and what do you know? Again, he's moved on. Don't know if he was fired, don't know if he just left. This quiet separation again. General manager of Moviefone, passed head of programming for the Young Turks. He kept that job for less, apparently, than a year. This is within the context of the Young Turks shredding senior employees and major staff shakeup. What is going on at TYT where they can't keep their employees? Not just keep their employees, but big name employees. This was the president of a network. This person was head of programming. And both of these people are out the door and on to other issues. I don't know if this is the Titanic. They've gotten $20 million, not to mention the millions of dollars that they got from people who are putting money into hiring reporters. And in this case, they're trying to raise $25,000 to defeat Ted Cruz, supposedly. I don't know what's going on with TYT. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on with TYT. But they seem to have a hard time keeping people even in big name positions. If it was a story that these people were hired, so much so that Vanity ran an entire article on the people who they hired, I feel, at least I think, that it's also a story that these people left. There's not much on this. It's just a report. It's not much on this. So I'm going to end this here. Trudy, wow, you're up late. Omar Lopez, what's happening, guys? All right. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through Patreon. And keep left, Cenk Uygur is never going to respond to a comment from me. Cenk Uygur doesn't even know I exist. Just saying. He does not know I exist. All right. Oh, in this, here my wife is like, he knows. He knows. I think she massively overestimates my reach, but I appreciate her for massively overestimating my reach. Thanks all. I see you in a few. I can't sleep. And where real men can't sleep, real men do the news. At least that's the way I process that stuff. So I'll be back in a few. Oh, by the way, Guy McPherson may be coming on the show today. I hit Guy McPherson up. Guy McPherson is going to come on the show to do a chest thump. The reason why he's going to do a chest thump is because he made an argument that, look, we're fucked. Prepare to die. And that's somewhat of a hard pill to swallow. And then you see Donald Trump's preliminary report saying that the temperature is going to hit 7 degrees by 2100. That is nearly an extinction level event. Donald Trump's report is we can't do anything about it, so screw it. I think that's a nonsense perspective to take. This idea that you die and go quietly into that good night, rail against the night, refuse to go quietly into that good night. You have no idea whether or not it's the end of the world. These things are just predictions. They're models. You can't necessarily let the model be the end all be all, because after all, it's just the model. It's human intellect that's making predictions. So you rail against that good night. You don't go quietly into that good night. You don't accept what's been taken. You fight and you pinch and you bitch and moan and you claw and you bite. You do whatever you can to try to save. You're talking about the species' persistence. Come on. The idea that you would let the capitalistic system end the human species as opposed to ending the capitalistic system in order to preserve the human species is astonishing perspective. Rail against that good night. Rail against the darkness. Rail. That said, McPherson will come on to Chestone. All right, guys. You'll have a good one.